Video in a little bit of a tutorial about feeding a senior horse on a budget, as much as you can keep a senior horse on a budget, realistically. So I have a retired thoroughbred. He was used pretty heavily. I will show you him momentarily. But this feed is what I've been giving him. It's really brought him around from literally nothing. This is Sentinel Senior. Okay, this is a nice puffed up pellet. Has lots of fiber in it, and it's a really, really great feed. I love it. This is something that breaks down as soon as it gets the moisture from the horse's tongue or mouth. It immediately starts to break down, which allows for the body to absorb a lot more earlier on in the stomach, whereas a lot of grains get processed much later in the stomach and into the intestines, which really is just watching your horse poop away your money. So that's a very full bucket. These buckets weigh 1 pound, and we are at 7 here, so subtract a pound is 6. So he's getting 6 pounds twice a day of Sentinel Senior. So that's 6 pounds twice a day, Sentinel Senior. This is the bag, Sentinel Senior bag by Blue Seal. Fantastic feed. I would recommend weighing this out. This is something that you will feel like you're feeding a ton of because your pellets are so much bigger than what a normal pelleted feed would be like. So being that Bones is very limited on his teeth, pardon my messy tack room, we had a foal the other night. This is Alfalfa Timothy hay pellets. Some of these are a little longer than others. You can break them up with your hand, but this is something I would always, always, always suggest to add water to. This is not something you want to ever feed dry. These are designed to soak up water. This is a pressed pellet. Try and get a little bit of a close-up there. A little hard to say, but these should always be fed with water. And with this, we're looking at about 4 pounds. So again, take away a pound for the bucket, and we're looking at 3 pounds. These are the bags that the hay pellets come in. It's a 40-pound bag. I pay about $15 for these, and I really like the Alfalfa Timothy pellets. As scary as alfalfa sounds in the horse world, especially to those of us just trying to maintain a horse, this is something that I really like as a complement to my other feed. It's got a decent source of calcium to it, but you know, my horses don't get hot on it. And again, this is something that has really been put to the test, and I really like having the mix over a straight alfalfa, but this definitely adds a little extra to my older guys. And then this little cup here, excuse me, this is the combat boots. This is something that I really would recommend to anybody that's having a lot of trouble with horses, especially older thoroughbreds. They're just a tough horse to keep weight on. This is a really nice little pellet. It's small. This cup is tiny. I think it only goes up to it's a half a cup scoop. So this will last you a while. And this is the front of the bag. This is combat boots, natural yeast pellet for horses. There's a lot of great things in it. You can see it down here. Really, it's a really nice supplement. And it's a 20-pound bag. This is something that, you know, this is a lot more expensive and does present a little bit of hesitation to a lot of horse owners because this is something that is expensive. This is about $70, I believe I paid for this, and it gets shipped right to my door. I bought it online. And it was really something I went out on a limb for because I was really down to my last-ditch efforts to keep my horse alive, basically. So this has definitely earned its keep in my barn, and we can see here yearlings and older horses, 2 scoops per head per day. So I did 1 scoop in the morning, 1 scoop at night, and that is something that complemented my Sentinel Senior feed and my hay pellets, my Alfalfa Timothy hay pellets. So this is a really great supplement, and especially when you're trying to keep a horse on a budget, you got to make sure you know where your money's going and that it's going to something that they are not just pooping away. And I have the proof in the barn to attest to this as a wonderful, wonderful supplement. And aside from being initially made as something to help with horses' feet, this is something that really, really packs on the weight and does not make my horses hot or stupid or, I have not had any issues with founder. And this old guy that I got was a really, really tough one to pull along. He's really been quite a project over the past few years. So we did this supplement for about 2 months. This bag lasted me about a month, and we saw immediate difference. So if you're really looking for something to pack on the pounds safely, this is a great supplement to invest your money in. This is Bones, and he is finishing up what is left of his Sentinel Senior. I just pulled his blanket, so he's a little irritated with me. But this was a extremely underweight, older thoroughbred. He's about somewhere between 30 and 35. Vets put him a little closer to 35. So he was a literal rack of bones when we got him. He was part of a very, very bad rescue out of southern New Jersey. Well, the rescue wasn't bad. The situation he was in was bad. So we can see as I kind of come up on him here, he's got a decent coat, but it's not so much that it's hiding anything. You can't strum his ribs like we used to be able to. I will try and post a picture online, see if I can get his old photos up. But he's got a pretty decent top line for an older man. And there's not much that you're going to be able to add on there. He has his pretty typical thoroughbred wethers. So this is an area that kind of tends to pocket out a little bit on him. But otherwise, he doesn't have a weird shelf like those older horses tend to get. And at this point, he is just on the maintenance of the Sentinel Senior and hay pellets. I do not have to give him the combat boots anymore. If I chose to continue on with it, I'm sure he would look even better. But he is just kind of hanging along. And for a horse that's just kind of sitting out as pasture puff, he is really doing all right in his older age. So that is Old Man Bones.